Welcome to the By Any Greens Necessary show. I'm your host, Melvin Thompson, Executive Director of the Endeleo Institute. Endeleo is the Swahili word for progress, growth, and development. As you know by now, Endeleo is a member organization of Trinity United Church of Christ on the far south side of Chicago, located at 400 West 95th Street. Our farmers market is what the show revolves around, and our farmers market takes place every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can come and shop with us and all black farmers at 95th and Normal every Saturday. I can't believe that we are already 2/3 into the market, just 4 weeks left for the market, so we're really excited about it. Last week we had a bit of a soggy, once again. I guess we're paying for the wonderful 6 weeks that we had prior to that, right? So that's just the way it goes, but then the sun came out as usual, and we had a marvelous time, and I want to thank all of the black farmers and all of the black vendors that come out, and it's just wonderful to see commerce happening within our community of Washington Heights on a weekly basis. It's exciting. It just warms my heart to see all of this, these transactions and folks making money and people happy. We've got yoga going on. We've got exercise. We had the smoothie bike out. We had a cooking demonstration. Brother George Outlaw came out and did his famous watermelon soup, which was a big hit. If you've never tried that, you have to come out and try that at least once. The most important thing that we want to tell you about as far as the market is something that we've been saying for the last couple of weeks, and that's the double value coupon program, where you get $1, you get $1 for every dollar that you spend, and that's what you're seeing on the screen there. So let's say you spend $10 at the market. If you are a link card user, you will receive $10 worth of produce in return. I mean, you cannot beat that. And for people that may be struggling, and that's a lot of people, particularly in the Washington Heights community, this is a golden opportunity to eat healthy, exercise, and do it at a discount, at a very important discount. So we encourage you to come out. There are just 4 weeks left. People have been taking advantage of this. I really want to thank our ministries as well for what they've done in partnership with Endeleo to support this market, namely the Green Ministry, who's been with us since day one, the Artists in Residence Ministry, who did this wonderful portrait of black farmers back in the day. Thank you so much, Brother Patrick Thompson, for your work. We love you for that. We can't thank you enough. It really we've added a bit of art to the farmers market. You can call us at 312-738-1060. This is a live call-in show. Give us a call. Tell us anything. If you've been to the market, if you plan on going there, just make a comment about what your experience has been like thus far. And the last ministry that I want to talk to is a ministry that we've recently come together with, and that is our food share ministry. As we talk about affordable food, there are approximately 250 people who are involved in our food share ministry, and this past Saturday we met with them because on the fourth Saturday of every month they get a chance to receive groceries through Top Box. If you remember, Top Box we had Athena Steens here on the show, and she was talking about Top Box and how they work with Trinity. Well, they deliver groceries to Trinity on the fourth Saturday of every month, and so they were there this Saturday, and we connected with them, and in every grocery bag we put one of the flyers that you just saw about the market and the opportunity to buy healthy fruits and vegetables at the market. So we're really excited about all this going on. Again, we've just got 4 weeks left in the season. That's unbelievable, and it's just amazing. We must be having fun because time is flying by us in a major way. There's one thing I wanted to talk to you about today, flying solo a little bit today, and wanted to tell you a little bit about the Endeleo Institute. Of course, this weekend is Labor Day, and Labor Day has obviously a significance to the country, to our community, and typically in our community it kind of loses its significance because the irony of it is that we don't have a lot of employment in our community, and so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the mission of Endeleo and what we're trying to do to support the Washington Heights community and surrounding areas. Our mission basically says we're there to empower Washington Heights and surrounding communities by strengthening existing assets and improving health, education, and economic development outcomes for greater quality of life. That's basically all we're trying to do. We're trying to strengthen existing assets in the community. And the vision is, just like what a vision means. It's if you could have whatever you wanted, what would it be? And for us, the vision is a transformed community reshaped by high quality education, food security, abundant access to affordable health care, and a thriving economy. That's all we want. That's all we want in a nutshell. All those things that I just mentioned. And so the farmers market serves a lot of different avenues, and a lot of things that are in what our mission and vision are located in the farmers market. One of the things that we tried to do, one of the first things that we did as an organization was identify one of the strongest assets in the community, asset-based community development, they call it. And for us, it was the Carter G. Woodson Regional Library. And you've heard us talk about it. We spearheaded about 2 years ago. We approached the city of Chicago and we said, our library is literally falling down. This is a regional library that's falling down. It's only one of two regional libraries in the city. And we took 30 or 40 community members on a cold November day in late 2013. And I'm happy to report that starting tomorrow in September, as a matter of fact, to kick it off, there's a $10 million renovation that's about to take place. We have an African-American general contractor, Ujama, that's going to oversee the project, and we're going to be hiring people from the community in the surrounding community around the Carter G. Woodson Library, and we couldn't be more excited about that. So Labor Day, at least for the far south side, is going to take on a bit of a different connotation because the work begins in September, and we're excited about it. It's something that wouldn't have happened, and for Endeleo to have just a little bit to do with this is exciting for us because we're going to bring income into some homes that ordinarily that wouldn't have been the case. And so we're going to get a brand new looking library on a very prominent corner on 95th and Halsted, and so we're excited about it, and we're using that as the catalyst for more development along the 95th Street corridor, because we know that a healthy corridor contributes to that culture of health that you keep hearing about, where there are more things than just how you feel, it's the environment. You've heard people on the show talk about the different environmental factors. Well, if people aren't working, how healthy can you be? If people aren't educated, how healthy can you be? If people are living in blighted areas where housing is, falling down or vacant or dangerous looking, and there are empty storefronts along the 95th Street corridor, how can that be healthy? And that translates into an unhealthy community. And what I will share with you is that the library for us was that first salvo in restoring our own community and not waiting for for the powers that be, if you will, to come in and do something about this. And so we took an active role as a community organization and said, we see something that's wrong, and we came to the community and said, will you help us with this? And because the library is so recognized for so many different things, people come there to vote. Obviously, they come there to study, create resumes, because now everything is digital. The library is of great utility. And so we want to encourage people, even beyond once the library is done. We want the library to become a new source of information. I've got to tell you this story. Last week I was in Washington, D.C. I'm part of a steering committee here with Northwestern University. Endeleo is part of a steering community that focuses, the name of the organization is the Alliance for Research in Chicagoland Communities, better known as ARC. And what that is it's a consortium of community organizations like Endeleo and other organizations around the city that have partnered with researchers and scientists at Northwestern University to come together and study some of the issues that I just talked about: unemployment, vacant buildings, blighted areas, unhealthy communities, all those things. Because what happens over time is these research organizations and these academic organizations have all the data about our communities, but for somehow that data never translates to the community. So Northwestern was thoughtful enough to say, hey, let's take a look at that. We're kind of like in an ivory tower, and we're not reaching the constituency that we should. And so maybe we should reach out to the organizations that are on the ground, so to speak, every day, and reach out to them. So there was a conference, and I was so fortunate and blessed to go to this conference in D.C. because there were organizations like ARC from around the country that were doing the same kind of work, where they're working with community organizations and research organizations, in New York and San Francisco, New Mexico, all from around the country and we all descended on Washington, D.C. For a 2-day conference about our respective work. And it was just amazing. It was amazing, and I'm definitely going to be taking a lot of what I heard back to our community, our respective organization, and ARC. So one of the things in my downtime that I must share with you was an exhibit that's about to open. I was so sorry that it didn't open when I was there, but it is the African American Smithsonian Museum. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but just 2 years ago, representatives from that museum were here in Chicago, and they were at the Woodson Library. Unfortunately, the timing of it didn't allow us enough time to tell folks about it, and there were less than 20 people at this presentation. But this presentation was about a $650 million African American Smithsonian Museum that was going to be built across the street from the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. And it's amazing. I was there. I was fortunate to be there. I heard it. At this moment, you can still be a member of this. I think there's a minimum $25 contribution, but and if you want more information, you can call our office at 773-966-1508. I can tell you 60 Minutes has done a number of stories about this museum. You can go to our website and find the link, or give us a call, or just simply Google Smithsonian Museum and 60 Minutes, and you can see the stories and what will be contained in this museum. Actually, the actual cell that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Spent time in will be in this museum. There are artifacts found at the bottom of the ocean in Mozambique, actual chains from slave ships. It is amazing. I stood in front of this, and I've got a picture that I want to share with you of the actual museum that will open, and it's just amazing. It is a spectacle to see, and I just stood there And it was breathtaking to see this kind of history inside of one building. There was an African American architect who designed this. I'm so proud of it. I was just in awe of it, and I wanted to share this picture with you and encourage you. One of the things that we do as an organization at Endeleo is we do Black college bus tours, and I've already told my staff that this is going to have to be either part of a bus tour or some kind of standalone museum tour to get our young people involved in this, because this is just amazing. And one of the problems that you always hear is that we don't know our history. And for the people to put this together, this was actually approved by former President George Bush, the young Bush, back when he was in office. And so this is an amazing group of people coming together to make this happen. And I just, it's all inspiring. I'll tell you that. And one of the things that I wanted to also share with you when we talk about health is a report that came out earlier this year. Again, you can call us at 312-738-1060 if you have any questions or comments about anything that you've heard thus far. But earlier this spring, the city of Chicago does a report on the state of health in all 72 communities in the city of Chicago. And it's called the Healthy Chicago 2.0 report. And I wanted to share some elements of the report with you. This is what it looks like, and you can just Google it or go to the city's website if you want to learn more about numbers in your community. But I'll tell you, I was struck by a number of issues in our community. The first one being the rate of unemployment, because there were actually five elements that I found noteworthy that were happening in Washington Heights. So, for instance, unemployment, infectious disease, and a couple of other ones. But I'll start with the first one, and I want to show you the overhead for, and I don't know if you can see this well, but this is unemployment in Washington Heights, and I don't know if we can zoom in and see that any better, but let's see, let's pull back a little bit and see. Well, yeah, and hopefully you can see the writing that says African Americans are 2.6 times more affected by unemployment than whites in the city of Chicago. And the communities that are affected, Washington Heights is one of them. And so I found that to be not that surprising, but that it was one of the most impacted cities, impacted communities in the city. And so putting people back to work with the library project, it's not going to solve that issue all by itself, but hopefully it can be catalytic, and it'll give the community some hope about there is activity in our community, and there is a way for you to participate on a very visible level. And so that's why we're excited about whoever gets the opportunity to contribute on this project. And so it's important, and because it leads, unemployment in our community leads to the violence that we see. And not surprisingly, this overhead shows that, again, Washington Heights is one of the leading communities in the city, most impacted by gun violence and the like. And so if people aren't working, they resort sometimes to violent acts just to feed their family. And so we need to do something about that. And I know it's probably, the most heated topic. In fact, when I was in D.C., I had a number of people telling me about, what's going on in Chicago and what are you all doing in Chicago? So I mean, we're reverberating across the country in terms of all the weekend numbers that we hear and the body counts of young people being killed. It starts with education. It starts with employment opportunities. It starts with all those things. So gun violence, unemployment, and then infectious disease. Yes, from chlamydia, STDs, HIV is all on the rise. Again, Washington Heights on the rise with these kind of issues, and so we need better education, and perhaps the library can be more of a hub for information about these diseases, how you can prevent them, how you can be better protected. The library we see as a hub for information, and we're going to be working with the Chicago Public Library going forward once this renovation is done, because it can be a beacon in the community, because I think the library has been kind of siloed from the community, even though we have 25,000 people going through the turnstiles every day, every month. The library hasn't been viewed as the partner of disseminating information, important information like this health report has reported. And so we want to engage the community more, and since everyone is cognizant of what the library means, maybe we can have kiosks set up in the library to give these kind of statistics and brings this closer to home. One of the things that really has plagued our community is infant mortality. Oh my goodness. I mean, we are twice, and I can show you with the graphic here that we are Washington Heights, Chatham, I believe, and one other community has a double. West Garfield Park has a double rate of infant deaths in its community, and it's just, I think it's a lack of information. I think we just need to do a better job of getting people the kind of prenatal care that they need to take better care of the infants, and so we don't have these exorbitant numbers because this has been going on in our community for quite some time. So it's important that we do this. And last but not least, as you might expect, the life expectancy of our community in Washington Heights is one of the lowest. Our life expectancy in Washington Heights is 5 years lower than the rest of the city. So there are a number of communities that join us with these dubious honors, but it's not that surprising when you hear about the gun violence, the infectious disease, the unemployment, the infant mortality. When you hear all of these things, when you put all of that together, then you get these kind of results. You get a zip code where life expectancies are this way. And so we're doing all that we can as an organization, and we ask the community to help us in these efforts. We can't do it alone. We have a very small staff. We're always looking for volunteers. If you want to be a volunteer to help us do some of this monumental work, please come out, give us a call, 773-966-1508. In the probably 90 seconds that I have left, I certainly want to tell you about an exciting thing that we just finalized the other day. We do a Black college tour for college students, aspiring college students. We have partnered with none other than the United Negro College Fund. For this year's, it's going to be October 7th, and we are extremely excited about hosting it at Chicago State University. We know that the university has been embattled and mired in the state budget, so we are excited that we're going to be part of the comeback story as the new president maps this comeback in these choppy waters. So please go to our website. We're going to have something at our website. Call our office. If you're a young person, we want you to to join us at this college fair, and also join us for our annual meeting, which will be November 7th. So stay tuned for more of that information. We're going to be doing a lot of things. We're 2/3 into our season, our year here at Endeleo. We've got a lot to talk about. Our annual meeting is November 10th, this Thursday, at the Beverly Sports Center. So please look out for that information. We've got a lot, and I tried to pack a lot into this show, but you will be hearing more about it. We thank you. We hope to see you. Happy Labor Day, and see you at the market.